Okay, so think a lot of people knows of PGN Underground. PGN Underground, the 5M server. Oh, that's part of the Programmer Dude network. Yeah, today I was wanting to talk about some problem that it has, and most of people are not paying attention to, at least when I was playing it, at least. And I'm not here to say like PGN is shit. I'm not saying that. It's been one of my favorite server, the one that teached me the most of roleplay, the one where I had most fun. I've met some amazing people, but still it has very big problems. Uh, One of that, if not the main one, is corruption. What I mean with corruption? For corruption, I mean the corruption that involves the staff of PGNU. There is many way this corruption presents itself. The one that for me, when I used to play back on PGN, it was regarding the gang aspect of the server. I used to lead a big cartel. We were like about 190 people in it. Then it got shut down, but that's for later. The problem with the corruption that I'm talking about is the corruption of what I should define as whitelisted gangs. Because there it was, a small group of gangs that no matter what, it was almost impossible to bring them down. And also they was having free publicity. What I mean with free publicity is like, as an example, Angels of Death and Lost MC. Uh, the problem with them, it was that they were the only few gangs to have actual outfits and actual buildings dedicated only for them. That creates a bit of problem. The gang war, it's a bit obvious, no matter the number of members that they used to have, they were always having them. And another problem is related to gangs. How staff can favorite the gangs, how used to favorite the gangs. As an example, many times when leading my gang, I've needed to confront gangs like the Angels of Death that they were using armored vehicle. Armored vehicle because they were used because the friend of the gang that was a staff member were allowed to use insurgent, an armored insurgent or stuff like that. Completely normal. Because because when you lead a gang in PGN Underground for civilian, you are trying to build it up in roleplay, actually slowly building it up without crazy things at the start, just like a real cartel roleplay. And then in your first gang war with these guys, you see them having friends using armored vehicle. You you surrender. Just Christ, you don't have any option. Then another level of on the gang level corruption, it was how a lot of time staff were scared of gang wars. What I mean with scared? There it was no real rule in place for gang wars or stuff like that. So there it was nothing to say what they can do and what they can do. As an example, I remember me and one of my guys of my old cartel, we were ambushing with two machine gun a group of another gang members that were at war. Understand, they were coming to kill us. They were arriving in my hotel, taking the elevator and everything. So we ambushed them, killed them all, taking picture for showing the gang section. Yes, we are winning this war. Technically, it's more roleplay stuff. It's what a real gang would do. But as soon as I posted the picture, one of the highest member of staff asked me to remove the picture and stop putting picture of our victory, of posing with the dead body, the people of the enemy that we killed. Because if we wouldn't stop, they threatened me to ban me for. They banned me from toxicity and blacklisted my gang and kicked everyone. It was absurd, but I was needed to comply. So we complied and keep going. Then another one of the last aspect from the gang corruption can say I've seen it when we shut down, when they made my gang, the new generation, the Cartel de San Andrea, shut down 190 members, the biggest gang active, one of the few gang active that was trying to take on a serious cartel roleplay, trying to do not create roleplay from anywhere. They shut me down for two reasons. The first one was the flag. They told me the flag of New Generation were looking like too much like a real cartel flag. The flag of CCNG, the Jalisco Nueva Generación Cartel, that exists in real life. For how much? Yes, we took inspiration, but still, technically every single gang, the flag is similar to something. The angels that are similar to real life biker gang. Gang Street have them name flags similar to real life gangs. And the name, it was very different from the one of the real life cartel. And was not taken on that basis. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. And they still shut me down. And then the second reason was a discussion. Discussion that I had in the gang board with the gang that we were at war with. Even if it wasn't even a discussion, even if the other leader of that gang, we were on good terms. It was just discussing normally, like civilian people. But the staff interpreted like a argument between who saying is better and who is not. And they told me that they warned me multiple times. They didn't. They never told me anything. They never warned me. And the only time they warned my cartel, it was in the first week, when, yes, we were creating too much chaos. But after that, staff never contacted me again about the cartel having problems. For 6-7 months. One of the two, like, we ran for like, you can put the summer, so like at least or 5 or 6 or 7 months, yes, like that. And we weren't trying to cause trouble. We ran a lot of type of criminal roleplay, but with passion, like not creating profit from anywhere. We kept account of each money we obtained and everything. But staff didn't care. Then moving on to other type of corruption problem that PGN has within itself. It's the corruption for power in staff and departments. Okay? The problem related to that is how if you are friend with the highest members of staff, you will never get banned. That's a fact. That's a damn fact. You can say something that normally should get you banned, it never gets you banned. Because you are friend with that staff member. Because you have connection. As an example, if I'm not wrong, it's still the leader of the PGNU community, a bond. How she becomes staff, I don't know. When she was banned, when a lot of times she abused her power, and and created problems regarding power gaming for paid departments, but on paid departments we arrive on it later. The main another type of corruption is within departments. How in some departments people that are not really liked by the staff members, they can get department locked. So you cannot go higher. That creates a lot of frustration for the LDO community of people that are not liked by staff. Another example could be on how one of the biggest department of PGN Underground, I mean the San Andreas National Guard, was placed under was placed under, guess who? Someone really close to a bond. What I mean with really close, I mean they were married in real life. Now, this person is a good person, I'm not saying that. But the problem is that when he got promoted to that rank, it wasn't for sure for activity or anything else. Yes, from what I remember, he is or he was, I don't remember now, a military member in real life of the real life National Guard or of an army branch. I really don't remember on the spot. But still, why promoting him? He was, I remember, a specialist when he got promoted. And he became the one of the military in PGN. So, and between all things, it's for the period I have been under him as a sergeant, he wasn't really much active because real life job things. So why handing him over the department when he cannot be really active? Yeah. Then we need to talk also about how in a lot of departments, if an officer is a friend with the lead of that department, it's less likely they are gonna get heavy punishment, yes. About the department, there it was in PGN, now there is 4, but when I was on PGN there it was 3 paid department. State Police, FIB, and SCP. State Police was really fine, there was really nice people, even if some of the people leading it were put in charge only because they were staff or stuff like that. But that's not really the greatest point. So the problem with SCP and FIB, it was that they were, because they were paid department, staff looked at other ways when they powered gaming or ruined the roleplay of other people. As an example, FIB agent, they used to have an easy trigger, like you are on an hostage situation. FIB most of the time in hostage situation, I remember, they were never trying to resolve it peacefully. They were just running in, shooting everyone, and ending the scene on that spot. That's something that happened multiple times, and I've seen it happen. Or another case is SCP. SCP for the power gaming, I'm not sure. Power gaming, not really, because SCP weren't doing much roleplay regarding civilian. But one of the power gaming, maybe, but it isn't even power gaming, but it's still a problem, is how for remaining active, because SCP wasn't really active as a department. It was cool, but it wasn't always active. They needed to find an escape code to organize raid to stay active, and that thing should have been active. What they found, it was my cartel. They accusing me of producing something that it's in the SCP lore, but a drug step makes you forget everything depending on the situation, but that were the point. The problem, my gang never touched anything of that. My cartel never produced that in any way, even in roleplay, how we should be able to produce it. Yes, my character was aware of the Foundation existence, but in the sense, why producing them? For who you are selling them? Nobody. But they found me as an escape code. And the scapegoat was my cartel, so they raided my place with flamethrower, armored insurgent, without trying to make arrest or anything, just killing their main objective. Then going over LEO departments, also regular department has problem other than rank locking people. For LEO department, the problem was related to the fact that they were the main point. The whole LEO system of PGN Underground with all departments, it was created to always make the police win. As an example, I remember the police was raiding one of my cartel, safe house. My cartel killed everyone, every single police officer. The police officer, they all got pissed off because of it. And they were saying that they wouldn't respond anymore to my calls to scene involving my cartel. That would be against the rule. Because just not wanting to take part in a role playing, just refusing out of character, it's against the rule, but nobody ever got punished for that. And they told me because most of the scene were ending with a shootout. Yes, it's a cartel, they are gonna we are gonna defend each and last of our product. So what you are expecting? There is nothing forcing me to do my roleplay in the way you prefer. If I want, I could have surrendered. If I want, if I wanted to fight, I fighted. But staff didn't like that, so they told me that we should surrender more times. So forcing someone to do a particular RP type of RP. That's a problem. Yes, it is. Or how you can put it. A lot of people in the ending in the last period where I was on PGN, a lot of people were creating some sort of terroristic gang, like terroristic organization where they killed high-ranking police officer official, high military official, and stuff like that. That's plant bomb, attack federal installation. That would be terrorism, RP. But they never got punished. Why? Because it was meant for departments. Literally, they used the excuse of it to be meant for the lore of a department to get away with it. Then another problem, it was the fact that staff members were wanting to become staff member, not because they were trying to help really the server, because rarely, very rarely, you saw a staff member around doing stuff as a staff member, like kicking people, breaking character, or stuff like that. It was rare. Most of them probably they wanted the role for just the power, to have leverage to get promoted faster in departments and stuff like that. And that happens. That happens, and you see them more abusing their power than anything. No one done anything. Even the internal affairs was a bit rigged as a system, because internal affairs most of the time they didn't do much. Then there's other stuff I could talk or make, but now on top of my head we're wanting to talk of something else. Regarding the corruption, it doesn't come to my mind right away. Oh yes, another problem was regarding dual channeling. Dual channeling is a rule that doesn't allow you to be a supervisor in another server. This applied for all members of PGN Underground. Obviously it's a lie, it applied to whoever wasn't staff. Because there is some staff members that are in more than one server as a supervisor, and everybody ignored that. I don't know. I really don't know why they do that, but yeah. Then, as I said earlier, the community of PGN Underground, it was really different by the community of whitelisted server of the network. Were people coming to PGN Underground, it was because they have saw the roleplay happening in the roleplay happening in the whitelisted server, and think it was the same in Underground. It wasn't. Never been, because Underground never had much rule. You saw one day a kid with a damn rocket launcher, or people breaking rules or doing some of the most random shit, and then people change or switch server, or try to get into whitelisted, or they just adapt. Most of them join the department, the ones who adapt. And then in the period I was in PGN Underground, the last period, there it was a wave of ban of people that they didn't do anything. People that they didn't never do anything bad. They were helping the community because they were some of the few people doing good roleplay. They got banned. A lot of them got banned for some of the stupid thing. Okay, now I was just wanting to make this video just because I was wanting to talk about something that many people don't see, that are blinded for because they want to appear in a video, or they think the corruption in PGN Underground doesn't exist. It exists. In a lot of ways it exists. But I could make more video about problems regarding other server or PGN Underground. I might do that, but for the moment this is gonna be all of what I think in general. Yes. This is all. I guess thank you for hearing